Hi, welcome to the Inner Peace Diet Yoga class. My name is Eileen and I'll be leading you through a very gentle yet powerfully energizing class this morning. So I invite you to begin just by assuming a position of complete relaxation. And how we'll do that is just by laying down on our backs, just allowing our entire body to come in contact with the mat. So you're just allowing your palms to face upward toward the sky or the ceiling. And we'll just begin today's practice just by noticing our breath. So we're not trying to change or alter our breath. We're just simply noticing the unique way that we're inhaling and exhaling. So a very relaxing breath that we can do is we can begin by doing ocean breath by placing the tip of our tongue along the roof of our mouth here. And we'll just begin by inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our nose. And if your nose is stuffy this morning, it's perfectly okay and acceptable to breathe through your mouth. So again, just resting the tip of your tongue along the roof of your mouth. You're just simply inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And then I invite you just to plug the soles of your feet into the mat and just walk the sides of your feet out to the mat. And just very gently allow your knees to come together, just in a very relaxing position here. As you continue to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose, with the tip of your tongue just very gently resting on the roof of your mouth here. So now I invite you to take your fingers and just plug up the insides of your ears as you just very deeply listen to the relaxing ocean sound that your breath is making here. Just its nice, easy, relaxing breath, inhaling and exhaling. And now I invite you just to stretch out on the mat, raising your arms up above your head as you inhale. And as you exhale, you're simply releasing and allowing everything to relax on the mat. And as you inhale, you're stretching out between the tips of your fingertips and the tips of your toes. And as you exhale, you're just simply releasing and allowing everything to let go. And you're just settling in on your mat. So inhaling, you're really stretching to your maximum here, really feeling your spine open and extend. And as you exhale, you're plugging both shoulder blades into the mat, just allowing everything to release and be as it is. So on your next inhalation, I invite you to very gently tug your right knee into your chest here, taking a moment just to ease that right kneecap just a little bit up into your right inner armpit. And as you inhale, you begin by making small circles with your right knee. And at first, you just make these circles just very easy. Just for easy, small circles. And this very simple exercise is great in terms of promoting flexibility and preventing injury. Promotes the release of synovial fluid from the hip joint. And now without changing the rhythm of your breath, you're simply changing the direction of the hip-knee circles. And with each breath, you allow the circles to become larger and more expansive here. And then as you exhale, you just simply lay your long right leg back down on the mat. And on your next inhalation, you're inhaling your left knee into the chest here, just taking a moment just to tug your left kneecap toward your inner left armpit, just very gentle. And then as you inhale, you begin by drawing circles with that left kneecap. Again, just being very gentle with yourself. The circles start out small, and as you feel your hip flexor open, you allow the circles to become larger and more expansive. And now once again, without changing the rhythm of your breath, you're just simply changing the direction of the hip-knee circle here. And then as you exhale, you just lay your long left leg back down on the mat. And then on your next inhalation, you're drawing both knees into the chest here. As you give your little spine a massage, rocking back either from side to side or front to back, whatever feels best on your spine this morning. And now inhaling, I invite you to open both of your arms into a wide T position here. So your palms are facing upwards towards the sky or the ceiling. And as you inhale, you allow both of your knees to drop over toward the left side of your mat here, allowing your left kneecap just to rest on the mat. So now if you'd like an extra stretch here, I invite you just to gaze out over that right extended palm, just allowing all of your fingertips to rest on the back of the mat as you just enjoy this abdominal twist, which is a very natural yogic cleanse here. And on your next inhalation, you're raising both of your kneecaps back to that center position, and then opening your arms once again into a wide T position. On your next inhalation, you're stacking one knee on top of the other, allowing your knees just to drift on over to the right side of your mat. And once again, for an extra stretch here, you can always gaze out over that left extended palm. So you're just taking a moment just to close your eyes and go deeply into this relaxation and stretch here, just breathing. And now on your next inhalation, you're just simply drawing both of your knees back to the center position and just tugging them into your chest and rocking around from side to side. So you're plugging the soles of both of your feet into the mat here. You're lightly pressing the palms of your hands into the mat as we prepare for bridge pose. So on your next inhalation, you're raising your hips up toward the sky or ceiling, just taking extra care that your knees are facing the front of the room or directly in front of you. And you're inhaling and exhaling, holding this posture without holding your breath here. And on your next exhalation, you're just simply drawing your hips back to the mat here. So we'll do one more easy bridge, this time taking a moment just to walk our feet just a little bit closer to our hips here. And on our next inhalation, we're raising our hips up toward the ceiling, taking a moment to inhale as we raise our navel up toward the ceiling, and then taking another breath and opening our heart center up toward the ceiling or the sky. And on our next exhalation, we begin by lowering our heart center back toward the mat, our navel center back toward the mat, and finally allowing our hips just to completely rest on the mat here. So once again, inhaling as we're raising our hips up toward the sky, now involving our navel center, raising our navel center up, and finally opening our heart center. For an extra stretch here, you can always interlace your fingers underneath your lower back here and just press into your arms for leverage. So once again, we're just taking some nice easy breaths in this posture here, holding this posture without holding our breath. And then plugging the palms of our hands back into the mat. We'll gently begin by drawing our heart center toward the mat, our navel center, and then finally allowing our hips just to rest on the mat here. And now I invite you just to plug the soles of your feet together here so that you're allowing your knees just to open and stretch down toward the mat for reclining butterfly or reclining cobblers. So it's a great idea to rest both of your hands on your belly here so you can feel your breath from the inside as well as the outside. So you're inhaling here, just breathing. And with every inhalation, you're just trying to draw your knees just a little bit closer to the mat. And as you exhale, you're simply releasing all effort from this posture. So you're not trying to change or alter anything. So inhaling, you're just gently drawing your knees toward the floor. And exhaling, you're just simply settling, releasing, letting everything go. So inhaling once again, and for most of us, this is a really small or micro movement here. You're just drawing your knees toward the mat. And exhaling, you're just allowing your whole body to release and settle down on the mat here. Okay, good. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to outstretch both our fingers and our feet here on the mat, once again laying in a position of complete and total relaxation as we prepare for leg lifts here. So on your next inhalation, you're raising a long right leg up toward the ceiling here. And now exhaling, you're just allowing that long right leg just to drift back down onto the mat. And on your next inhalation, you're raising a long left leg up into the sky here. And now exhaling, you're just simply allowing that long left leg just to drift back down onto the mat. So once again, inhaling, raising a long right leg, taking a moment just to flex your right foot here, almost as if you're getting ready to take a step on the sky. And then as you exhale, you're pointing the toe and just allowing that long right leg just to drift back down onto your mat. So now once more on the other side, inhaling as we raise that long left leg up, really flexing your foot, pulling the toes towards you as you get ready to take a step on the sky. And now exhaling that long left leg all the way down. And now we're going to prepare to do some double leg lifts. So if your lower back is feeling achy or just feels like it needs some extra support right now, I invite you just to place the palms of your hands pressing down into the mat on your lower back. And now as you inhale, you're raising both legs up. And then exhaling, you're simply allowing both of your legs to come back down on the mat. Good. So now we'll begin by doing stretch pose, which is a great pose that builds mental focus and concentration here. It's also great for your power center, really developing core abdominal strength. So as you inhale, you're raising your head, your arms, and your feet just about 6 inches up off your mat, and you're gazing at your toes here. So once again, you're breathing, enjoying this posture. And then leading with the head, you're just letting everything release on the mat here. So we're taking another minute just to have a resting breath here before we once again come up in that stretch pose again. So inhaling, we're raising our head, our arms, and finally our legs. We're just gazing at our feet, allowing them to become our drishti or focal point here. And breathing. And exhaling, leading with the head, just allowing everything to relax. So then we'll take one more breath here and just rolling our knees in toward our chest. We're just going to rock in a little ball and gradually make our way up into a seated position here. As we prepare to do some hip circles, so what we're going to do is we'll begin by sitting in Sukhasana or easy sitting pose, sitting cross-legged on your mat. So we're taking a moment to get centered here and just drawing our shoulder blades together and down our back. We're imagining our vertebrae, one stacking on top of the other here. And then as we inhale, we're reaching the torso forward. And then exhaling, we're rolling back here. So this is a really nice, easy, and fluid movement. Sometimes it can be helpful to close your eyes here and really feel your hip flexors. You can feel if there's any particular area where you feel constricted, and just send a little breath and movement to that area. So now without changing the rhythm of your breath, you're simply changing the direction of the hip circles here. Inhaling as you go forward, and then exhaling as you reach back. And now gradually you just allow this motion to become standstill. Just let the circles become smaller and smaller. And now we'll begin to do our yogic squats. So then to assume this yogic squat position, we can begin by placing our hands directly in front of our feet like this. Or for a more traditional expression of the posture, you can just allow your elbows to graze the inside of your knees. And what we do is we inhale, we're raising our hips up here. As we take all of the bend out of our knees, we're just allowing our fingertips and our feet to remain grounded on the earth or mat here. And then as we exhale, we're putting a bend into our knees and just sinking back into that yogi squat position. So inhaling, we're raising our hips up as we take the bend out of our knees, pressing the energy into our feet and in our hands, really feeling our hamstrings open and extend here. And then exhaling, we're putting a very deep bend into the knees as we sink back into that yogic squat position. So inhaling, we're raising our hips up here, really allowing our legs to open and stretch, grounding down through the fingertips and the soles of the feet, and breathing. And on our next exhalation, we're placing a very deep bend into the knees here as we sink back down. And now I invite you to do this posture in rhythm with your own breath. This is a great exercise to do upon arising in the morning and also before going to sleep at night. So if you'd like to do this exercise to bring energy into your body, you want to have very quick, rapid respirations, which would mean very quick, rapid movements. Or if you'd like to do this to bring calm and relaxation into the body, you can do this exercise very slowly. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to once again assume a seated position on the mat here. So you're just stretching your feet out in front of you, just allowing your palms once again to rest into the mat as we prepare for staff pose here and some also stretching. So inhaling, we're raising both arms up toward the sky, and exhaling, we're diving, folding forward. So we're grabbing our toes, or perhaps you're just grabbing your ankles, maybe your calves, whatever your body will let you have this morning. Then we're just resting, just really accepting whatever our body lets us have, just relaxing. And now inhaling, slowly rolling the spine back up into that seated position. We'll prepare to do this stretch once again. So inhaling, raising both arms up. Exhaling, diving, folding forward from your hips. If your hamstrings feel particularly tight, you can always put a little bit of bend in your knees. And we're just breathing, relaxing here. Good, and now placing an even deeper bend into the knees, gradually bone on top of bone, you're rising back into that seated position here. And now I invite you to meet me at the top of your mat, standing in mountain posture. So mountain posture is you're standing, placing all of your weight, equally distributing your weight on all four corners of your feet. You're really opening your heart here, drawing your shoulder blades together. Your palms are facing forward, slightly open toward the front of the room. And now as you inhale, you're raising both arms up. And exhaling, you're simply allowing both of your arms just to drift back down to your sides. So inhaling, you're raising both arms up here. And then exhaling, you're just simply allowing both of your arms just to drift back down. And now we'll begin to work on the spine here, warm it up as we start some baby sun salutations. So inhaling, we're raising both arms up. Exhaling, we're swan diving here, folding from your hips. Inhaling, opening the heart center and looking up just about halfway here. And then as we exhale, we're just simply dropping over into a forward fold. So you're just allowing your fingertips to be beside your feet. If you need to place a little bit of bend into your knees, you could do that. It's perfectly acceptable here. So you're just releasing and just allowing yourself to just be easily in this posture. And now placing an even deeper bend into the knees, you're gradually returning, rising into a standing position here. So once again, we'll do another baby sun salutation. Inhaling, raising both arms up. Exhaling, swan diving, folding forward from your hips. inhaling with your hands on your shins, opening your heart center and looking up about halfway here. And then exhaling, you're just simply allowing your chest to meet your thighs here, placing your fingertips along your feet and just allowing yourself to release in this position. And just breathing. And now placing a deep bend into the knees, gradually returning to that standing position, stacking bone on top of bone here. Good. So now for a fuller expression of sun salutation, we're inhaling, raising both arms up, exhaling, swan diving, folding forward from the hips, inhaling, opening your heart center and looking up just about halfway here. And now with some breath, we're going to make our way into the plank position. So you're just allowing your body to go in one long line, taking a moment to draw your navel up to your spine. If you're very brand new to yoga, it's perfectly acceptable to drop to your knees here. And then exhaling, we're doing a reverse yogi push-up, gradually lowering our torso to the mat, bone by bone. And now inhaling, drawing the shoulder blades together, placing our intention on that place in between our eyes and our eyebrows. And now taking a moment to tuck our toes under as we press into the mat and raise your hips up into a downward facing dog here. So this is our first dog of the day. So we're making it a nice, easy posture, just bicycling, pedaling the feet here. And we're just allowing our neck just to relax, just finding comfort and relaxation in this inversion. And now with breath, we're just elephant walking our feet up to meet our hands, once again in that forward fold position. So your fingers are simply alongside your feet here. And now as you exhale, you're just allowing yourself to go into a ragdoll. So you're just simply allowing all of the stress just to melt out of your shoulders and your arms. You know, perhaps putting a little bit of swivel into your hips here. And now gradually you allow that swivel motion to become standstill as you once again place a deep bend into your knees and you're rising to a standing position, stacking bone on top of bone. And now once again, inhaling, raising both arms up. Exhaling, swan diving, folding forward at your hips. Inhaling, opening your heart center and looking up about halfway here. And now exhaling, you're just simply folding over into a forward fold here once again. Good. And now placing a little bit of bend into your knees, gradually rising, stacking bone on top of bone here. And now we're going to do some balancing postures, which are great for balancing the left and right hemisphere of the body. So what we'll do is once again is we'll stand in mountain posture, grounding down on all four corners of our feet, just allowing ourselves to feel grounded and feel balanced. And now I invite you just to ground down in particular in that right foot. So you're really pressing your energy, your intention, your focus on that right foot and leg. And just draw your hands to heart center here in Namaste. And now inhaling, you're picking up your left foot, placing it somewhere along your right. So perhaps it's alongside of your calf, or it can also be on the inside of your thigh or the outside of the thigh. You're simply breathing here. It can be really helpful to find a position that's anywhere from 10 to 12 feet on the floor in front of you. Finding an object that doesn't move, so perhaps it's a stain on the rug or a water bottle, and really focusing your energy and intention on that particular point. And you're just breathing, just accepting whatever your body lets you have today. If at any point you should stumble or fall out of the position, it's okay. Just allow yourself to assume the position again. And if you'd like, you can always assume a more full expression of tree just by extending the arms and really opening from your heart center here. And just breathing. And we'll release this posture first by releasing our arms, and then just by allowing that left leg to come in contact with the mat once again. And then just shaking it out. And then we'll reverse this pose on the other side of our body just by grounding down into that left leg, that left foot, Once again, returning the hands to heart center here, and then just lifting that right foot, placing it somewhere along the left. So perhaps it's along a calf or a thigh. And we're just breathing here, just accepting whatever our body lets us have. And then if you'd like, you can always raise and extend both arms here into a fuller expression of tree, really opening at your heart center, just feeling grounded. And we'll begin releasing this posture first by releasing the arms, and then just by allowing that right foot just to come in contact with the mat here. And we'll do another balancing posture. We'll do crane. So once again, taking a moment to feel centered and grounded in both feet. Inhaling, we'll raise that right foot just a little bit up off the mat. So today, depending on where you are, maybe it's just an inch or two. For something extra, you can always lift that right leg so your knee is in line with your hip here. If it's still not enough of a balance challenge for you, you can always interlace both fingers and just place them around that right knee, opening your heart center wherever you are, and just breathing. So we're just gently holding this posture without holding our breath here. And on your next exhalation, you're just simply allowing that right leg just to drift back down onto the mat here. So we're taking a moment just to shake it out so we can ground down in that right leg. And then inhaling, we're lifting that left leg up. So maybe it's just an inch or two up off of the mat, perfectly acceptable wherever you are. For something extra, you can always reach that left leg up so your knee is in line with your hip. That's still not challenging. Once again, you can always interlace your fingers, putting them around that left knee, and just breathing here. Remembering wherever you are, you're really opening at the chest, opening your heart center, and just breathing. And now exhaling, you're just simply allowing that long left leg just to drift back down onto the mat here. Okay, so now I invite you to join me in the table position. So for that, we're simply getting down on all fours here. So we're placing our palms into the mat, allowing our fingertips to spread wide to protect our wrists. So we want to make sure that we're putting as much weight into our fingers here as we are to our wrists. And our knees are aligned just directly underneath our hips here. So we'll begin doing some cats and cows in this position. So starting from a neutral spine, we're inhaling as we're dropping the belly here, looking up at that place in between our eyes and eyebrows, inhaling, and then as we exhale, we begin arching and rolling the spine into a baby forward bend here. So we're really arching the back almost as if we were a cat here. And then incrementally, we're rolling the spine as we inhale, dropping the belly, looking up at that place in between our eyes and our eyebrows. And then exhaling, we're just gradually arching the spine, rolling back up into that cat position. So we're really expelling the used air here. And then inhaling, we're drawing in new air, really breathing, feeling our lungs open and expand. And then exhaling now, we begin rolling the spine, really drawing our navel center up toward our spine here. And then exhaling once again into the cow position. And now I invite you to do this exercise in rhythm with your own breath instead of my instructions, remembering that you're inhaling into that cow position and then exhaling as we go into that cat position. And now once again, we'll meet in the table position here. So we're just down on all fours, and then we're taking a moment to gaze at our right index finger, and then inhaling, we're reaching a long right arm out in front of us here, taking a resting breath as we inhale, and we're lifting that left leg up. So our body and our energy is running in one long line here. inhaling and exhaling, just seeing if we can stretch our spine just a little bit longer here. And on your next exhalation, you're simply allowing the palm of your hand and your knee just to come in contact with the mat once again. And now gazing at your left index finger, inhaling as you raise your left arm up here, really feeling yourself steady and grounded. And now inhaling once again as you bring that right leg back to join it. So you're simply inhaling and exhaling, just feeling really grounded and balanced. And remembering that this position here is a great spine extender. So it's not about how high you can get your arm or your leg, but rather how long. And now exhaling, you're allowing your left palm and your right knee just to come in contact with the mat. We'll do that once more on the other side. So inhaling, racing a long right arm out. And then once again, inhaling that long left leg back to join it. And now exhaling, you're putting that right palm into the mat and just allowing that left leg just to come back down as well. And now inhaling, you're raising a long left arm out. Inhaling once again, bringing that long right leg back to join it. Just feeling really steady here. And now exhaling, we're bringing that left arm down, bringing that right kneecap back down to join it here. Just taking a moment to shake it out. So now we'll do this exercise with a little bit of a hip opener. So once again, gazing at that right index finger, you're inhaling a long right arm out, bringing that long left leg back to join it. And once you feel steady, you go ahead and reach back with that long right arm and grab anywhere you can along that left leg. So perhaps it's your toe, perhaps it's your ankle, perhaps you're just reaching toward. But wherever you are, really attempt to open that left hip flexor here. So you're just breathing. Once again, you're holding this posture without holding your breath. And then exhaling, you're stretching out your arm and your leg, and finally allowing both arm and leg to come in contact with the mat. So we'll do this again on the other side, inhaling a long left arm out, bringing a long right leg out to join it. And once you're steady, you're reaching back with that long left arm, grabbing that right leg, or toward that right leg wherever you are this morning. And then you're just opening that right hip flexor. And now you're stretching everything out once again, and just releasing and allowing everything just to sink down onto the mat here. So we're placing our energy and intention on our palms of our hands and on our knees, grounding down on all four corners here. And we'll take a moment once again to gaze at our right index finger. And on our next inhalation, we're raising our long right arm up, really taking a moment to inhale and open your heart center up into this stretch, reaching up with your fingertips and breathing. And then once your next need to exhale arises, you're simply bringing that long right arm down and underneath the body, allowing the back of that right hand to rest on the mat or the ground. And then if you'd like an extra stretch, you can always spider walk your left fingertips up toward the edges of your mat and just sink your hips just a little bit further towards your heels here. So you're just completely relaxing in this thread the needle posture. Just taking some nice, deep, and relaxing breaths here. So on your next inhalation, you're just spider walking the left hand a little bit back towards your face, pressing in with the left palm, and just allowing your right palm to return to the mat, grounding down once again into that tabletop position. And now taking a moment to gaze at your left index finger here. Inhaling, we're raising a long left arm up. So we're really gazing at that left index finger, opening at the heart center here. And breathing. Just taking a moment just to stretch just a little bit higher with that left arm. And now exhaling, we're bringing that left arm underneath the body, allowing the back of that left hand to rest on the mat or the ground. And now spider walking the right fingertips up toward the edges of your mat. You're just simply releasing and relaxing into this thread the needle twist or pose. And now taking a moment to spider walk the right hands back toward the face, returning once again into that tabletop position. And now we're just simply going to go down on our bellies here. So we're just placing the palms of our hands into the mat, just underneath of our shoulders or our rib cage here. And just take a moment and just allow your right cheek just to rest on the mat. So we're just going to take a resting breath here, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And now on your next inhalation, you're simply lifting your head back to that center or midline position and just opening your heart center, drawing your shoulder blades together, taking a moment to draw your legs together and just allow the tops of your feet to rest on the mat. So we're really opening into this gentle back bend. And now if you'd like something extra, you can always just lift your hands up off of the mat here. Just breathing. And when it's time to exhale, you just exhale your left cheek down to the mat, just allowing everything to release and let go. And on your next inhalation, you're drawing your head back to that midline, taking just a moment just to draw your shoulder blades together and down your back. And your gazing point is that place in between your eyes and your eyebrows. And once again, inhaling. If you'd like an extra stretch, you're raising your palms up off of the mat, so it's just an inch or so. And just opening at your heart center here. And now exhaling, you're just simply allowing that right cheek just to rest on the mat here. And then as once again, we're going to push back up into that tabletop position on all fours, taking a resting breath. And then when it's time to exhale again, we're just going to reach our hips back toward our heels into extended child's. So we're just spider walking our fingertips up toward the edges of the mat here, just sinking. So this is a really dynamic posture. It's a combination of rest and activity. So you're simultaneously just releasing and letting everything go while you try to just stretch your fingertips a little bit further and just ease your hips just a little bit further towards your heels here. Your forehead is resting on the mat here, and you're just inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose with the tip of your tongue resting gently on the roof of your mouth. Now, once again, we'll come back up into that tabletop position, just grounding down through all four corners of our hands and our knees here as we come to our bellies once again. So this time, we're just simply allowing our arms just to meet at our sides here with our palms pressing lightly into the mat. The top of our feet is down, and we're just allowing the crown of our head to reach toward the wall in front of us here. And we're just breathing, resting our forehead on the mat. And on our next inhalation, we're lifting our arms up. So it's just anywhere between 2 to 6 inches up off of the mat here. So if your neck feels safe and steady here, you may go ahead and just very gently lift it up a little bit, just allowing the crown of your head to still go toward the front of your room. So you're opening your heart center here, breathing as you hold this posture. And now exhaling, you're simply allowing your forehead to come in contact with the mat, allowing your arms to drift back down. And now once again, with your crown of your head reaching toward the front of the room and your forehead resting on the mat, as you inhale, you're lifting both of your legs up simultaneously, breathing. So you're holding this posture without holding the breath. Remembering always that it's important to listen to your own body versus my instructions. So if at any point you feel the need to release, listen to your own body first and just respect its wisdom. And exhaling, you're allowing both legs just to rest on the mat. So you're sinking once again, just breathing and relaxing. And on your next inhalation, once again, you're raising your arms just anywhere from 2 to 6 inches up off of the mat. And if you feel steady there, you just bring the legs up to join it here. Just taking a moment to make sure that the crown of your head is reaching toward the front of the room. We're taking some nice, deep, relaxing breaths in this locust posture. And now exhaling first by releasing the arms and then by allowing the legs just to rest on the mat here. And once again, we're going to return to that tabletop position. So we're just pressing our palms into the mat, our knees, and as we exhale, we're sinking back down into that extended child's posture. So we're just allowing our fingertips to reach the front of the room. We're allowing our hips just to sink just a little bit further towards our heels here. And we're relaxing and breathing. And now once again, we're going to come back up into that tabletop position as we go back down on our bellies here just one more time. So now what we're going to do once again with our forehead in the mat, we're going to reach a long left arm out. And then inhaling, we're reaching our left leg up. We're just encouraging our heel just to meet our glute here. So we're inhaling and exhaling. If you'd like to, you can reach back with that long right arm and grab. So we're holding this posture without holding our breath once again, just releasing. And exhaling, we're allowing that right leg to go back down and just drawing that left arm back. And now inhaling, putting that long right arm up. Taking another inhale, drawing that left ankle toward the left glute here. And if you'd like, reaching back with that left arm and grabbing something or reaching towards something. And then we're just allowing everything to rest on the mat here. And then finally exhaling here. And now I invite you just to place both arms at your sides. Once again, just resting on the mat with your forehead resting on the mat here. And now inhaling, you're just drawing both of your feet up towards your glutes here. For something extra here, you can always reach back with both arms going into our version of wheel. So you're reaching, grabbing ankles, toes, whatever your body will let you have this morning. And you're breathing, opening at your heart center. And exhaling, you're simply releasing, relaxing, coming up into tabletop position again. And then once again, resting into that extended child's posture. Now from this extended child's posture, I invite you to make your way onto your backs for our final position today, which is Shavasana or corpse pose. So we're just simply laying in the same position that we began this exercise. So we're laying on our backs in a position of complete and total relaxation. So both of your shoulder blades are plugged directly into the mat and you're breathing. So your palms are facing upward here. You're just allowing your face to relax, allowing your jaw to open and soften slightly. And now I invite you to envision a golden healing light that starts at the bottoms of your feet. And this golden healing light has a very warm and pleasant sensation to it. It It's almost as if you are stepping into a warm bathtub. And the golden healing light now rises and travels up to your ankles, bringing with it a sense of total peace and relaxation and connection. And the golden healing light now rises into the muscles of your calves, and your calves are totally and completely relaxed. And the golden healing light now rises into your knees, and your knees feel completely rejuvenated and at peace. And the golden healing light now travels up into the muscles of your thighs, and your thighs are totally at peace and totally relaxed. And the golden healing light now rises into the muscles around your abdomen, and your belly becomes soft and at peace. And the golden healing light now rises to your heart center, bringing with it a sense of joy and compassion. And now the golden healing light rises to your throat, bringing with it a sense of complete relaxation and rejuvenation. And the golden healing light now travels on up into your face. It allows your jaw to open slightly. It travels into the tiny muscles around your eyes, allowing them to relax and soften. And the golden healing light now travels on up into your forehead at that place in between your eyes and your eyebrows, bringing with it a sense of peace and calmness. And the golden healing light now travels to the top of your head, the crown of your head, bringing with it a sense of total peace and total relaxation. And I now invite you to spend a few moments with this golden healing light, directing it whatever part of your body is calling out for your attention or mindfulness in this moment. And as you're ready, I invite you to gradually bring your attention and awareness back into this room by moving your fingertips to your toes, putting a little gentle movement into your body, and then just rolling over onto your side. And then as you feel ready, you're returning back into a seated position. We'll end today's yoga sessions the way yoga sessions are ended around the world, by placing our palms together at heart center and bowing to that divine aspect of each other and saying namaste. Thank you for joining me in today's Inner Peace Diet yoga session. I look forward to connecting with you again.